Cohen's testimony today was terrible. According to Cohen, after the Access Hollywood tape came out, they found out that Stormy Daniels was out there also shopping her story around. And Cohen testified, Trump said to me, "This is a disaster. Total disaster. Women are going to hate me. Guys may think it's cool. But this is going to be a disaster for the campaign. Unless everyone finds out about it someday and learns all the dirty details, goes on trial. I sit there sleeping and farting. Then somehow, and God knows how, it's good for my campaign." As far as this affecting his marriage goes, according to Cohen, Trump wasn't worried about Melania leaving him, saying, "Don't worry, how long do you think I'll be on the market for?" Not long.
During the hush money trial, Michael Cohen delivered a testimony that was exclusively aimed at tearing down Trump. His shocking revelations included leaked conversations with the sleep-obsessed Dawn and humiliating Trump with just 3 words. Trump was brought to tears by the testimony, which prompted him to throw a tantrum. As if that wasn't enough, Stephen Colbert went on to destroy him just moments after the trial ended on Monday. The events of that day were nothing short of hilarious.
When he took the stand this morning, Cohen testified that before Trump's 2015 presidential announcement, Trump told him, "Just be prepared. There's going to be a lot of women coming forward. Mikey, be warned. You're going to have to pay Karen, Stormy, Dusty, Misty, Christy, Crispy, Crunchy, Crinkly, and Grizzly." The starriness of it all. Remember, Trump's whole defense is, "I never slept with Stormy Daniels, and I didn't pay her to be quiet. Michael Cohen paid her to be quiet because he's such a great guy who I hope is torn apart by wild dogs. And I only paid him when I thought were legal fees. And if I did anything at all, I did everything I did, which I didn't do, to protect my wife from finding out the things I never did."
Donald Trump was completely embarrassed by Colbert's perfect imitation, but beyond that, the president's behavior was truly appalling. It's obvious that we're dealing with a selfish narcissist who has no respect for women. He even said something that a 10-year-old might say. In case you're not up to speed, Michael Cohen recently spoke about his time as Trump's lawyer for a decade. Cohen said he was solely focused on pleasing Trump, which was no easy feat. Trump is currently facing charges for falsifying business records related to a payment Cohen made to a porn star on Trump's behalf. Despite their heated exchanges on social media beforehand, the 2 former friends avoided making eye contact during the proceedings. During his testimony, Cohen talked about growing up as the son of a Holocaust survivor from Long Island. He initially didn't want to become a lawyer, but his grandmother pressured him into it. After law school, Cohen ended up working for Trump. In 2007, Trump hired Cohen to work at a personal injury firm where he handled both legal and non-legal tasks. A decade later, Cohen became Trump's special counsel and was paid a base salary of $375,000. He cherished the job and shared how Trump moved him to Ivanka's office on the 26th floor of Trump Tower, demonstrating the close bond between them. In Cohen's view, the Trump organization was a tight-knit family, and he reported directly to Trump on various matters. Cohen described Trump as a micromanager who insisted on approving everything, even the smallest details. He emphasized how Trump avoided leaving a paper trail, including not using email to avoid potential legal issues.
Trump held a rally this weekend down at the Jersey Shore and did exactly what you're supposed to do at the Jersey Shore. Hang out with friends, try to forget about your upcoming court dates, and never go in the water. It all happened in the New Jersey town of Wildwood, which, if you've never been there before, imagine if a bootleg Rick and Morty t-shirt was somehow a place. In his speech, Trump addressed the #1 issue for voters, a 33-year-old movie.
Silence of the Lamb. Has anyone ever seen it?
Oh, I love Silence of the Lamb. That's one of my favorite movies. Right up there with Star Wars, Dance with Wolf, and Jaw.
In a recent comedic feat, Colbert cleverly played with words to mock Trump's shameful actions. However, for Cohen, Trump's mess was no laughing matter. Cohen's early job duties for Trump included negotiating with vendors for fair prices. Trump was pleased with Cohen's success, but Cohen found himself engaging in unethical practices for Trump, even willing to lie on his behalf. As Trump's presidential campaign began, Cohen's role expanded to include buying women's stories to prevent their publication, all in an effort to protect protect Trump's reputation. Ultimately, these actions and lies led to Cohen serving time in prison, and now he testifies against Trump. In 2018, Cohen admitted guilt to federal charges, including lying to Congress about Trump's real estate dealings and campaign finance violations related to hush money paid to Stormy Daniels, an adult film actress. After serving a 3-year prison sentence and being under house arrest, Cohen emerged as a vocal critic of former President Trump. On his first day of testifying, Cohen revealed some key details. During his 5-hour testimony, Cohen linked Trump to the payment made to Stormy Daniels. He explained that he collaborated with David Peck, the former editor of the National Enquirer, to suppress negative stories about Trump during the 2016 campaign. Cohen also detailed how he kept Trump informed about his negotiations with Keith Davidson, the lawyer for Daniels and Karen McDougal. Furthermore, Cohen revealed that Trump approved and was aware of the arrangement to falsely repay Cohen for the Daniels payment under the guise of legal services. In 2017, Cohen connected Trump to the reimbursement for the hush money. Trump faces 34 charges of falsifying business records, including 11 invoices, 12 vouchers, and 11 checks. These records relate to the monthly reimbursements Cohen received in 2017 for the payment he made to Daniels. During Monday's testimony, jurors heard evidence directly linking Trump to these reimbursements for the first time. Cohen portrays himself as Trump's guardian, recounting how he intervened to stop unfavorable media stories. Cohen obtained non-disclosure agreements prior to the 2016 election to protect Trump's reputation regarding the settlement with Daniels. Cohen confessed to hiding information about David Dennison and Peggy Peterson to protect Trump. He also admitted to using Essential Consultants LLC to handle the payment to Daniels with the intention of distancing Trump from the transaction. When asked if he intimidated others, Cohen admitted to doing so. The Dorman story revealed how Cohen learned of rumors about Trump fathering a child. He also testified that Trump instructed him to handle the situation. Cohen negotiated a $30,000 deal to prevent the story from being published, and Trump thanked him for resolving the issue. Regarding former Playboy model Karen McDougal, Cohen shared Trump's directive to prevent the story from coming to light. Cohen interpreted this as acquiring the story and recounted a conversation with Trump and Pecker in which Trump agreed to cover the costs. Pecker insisted on reimbursement for the Access Hollywood tape. When Cohen learned of the controversial video, he wanted to protect Trump, and Melania suggested framing the language. Cohen revealed in a video that he believed would negatively impact women voters, that Trump expressed concern about the potential impact of the Stormy Daniels story on his reputation and campaign. Trump instructed Cohen to work with Pecker to resolve the issue, and Cohen kept Trump informed throughout the process. Cohen informed Trump and obtained his approval twice before making the payment to Daniels using Essential Consultants LLC, a company he established, and emphasized that he wouldn't have proceeded without Trump's consent. Cohen is now exposing everything about Trump, and late-night show hosts are using this as an opportunity to ruin him further. Colbert has already taken shots at Trump, and there's more to come.
He went on.
Silence of the lips. The late, great Hannibal Lecter is a wonderful man. He oftentimes would have a friend for dinner. But Hannibal Lecter, congratulations, the late, great Hannibal Lecter.
Late great. In none of the stories does Hannibal Lecter die, and Sir Anthony Hopkins is very much still alive. Does Trump just think a character dies when he turns off the TV? Well, another great episode of Wheel.
Ageism is a pervasive problem in our society, and it's particularly concerning when it comes to the treatment of seniors. Stephen Trump, at 77 years old, is at an age where he may be experiencing some hearing difficulties. However, this is no excuse to ridicule or dismiss him. After all, we should be treating our elders with respect and dignity, not subjecting them to cruel and insensitive jokes. It's worth noting that ageism has become increasingly prevalent in recent years. With the rise of social media and online platforms, it's easier than ever for people to make derogatory comments about seniors, often hiding behind the veil of anonymity. This is a worrying trend, as it can lead to a culture of disrespect and intolerance towards older members of our society. Thankfully, there are signs that things are starting to change. change. President Joe Biden's term has been marked by a renewed focus on inclusivity and respect for all individuals, regardless of their age or background. This is a welcome shift and one that we should all strive to support in our own lives. In conclusion, we should all be mindful of the language we use when talking about seniors. While it's important to acknowledge that age-related health issues can be a real concern, we should never use this as an excuse to belittle or dismiss our elders. Instead, we should be doing everything we can to show them the respect and dignity they deserve.
Rest in peace, the late, great Pat Sajak. We'll always remember how much you love the alphabet. Congratulations.
He probably thinks Elon Musk met Iron Man at the same rally in New Jersey where Trump humiliated himself by attacking Bruce Springsteen. Everyone in New Jersey knows not to mess with the boss and expect his fans to support you. It's clear that Trump wants to be seen as a tough guy but doesn't actually care about his voters. He knows he won't make it to Election Day and will likely be locked up before then. He criticizes everything as rigged, including the judge in the hush money trial, which he denounces as a scam and an injustice to democracy. Trump claims the trial was a rigged deal and accuses the judge of being conflicted. His allies say there was no fraud or crime involved, but Trump's biggest mistake was Michael Cohen. It seems like there's no end to how low he can fall. Your downfall is inevitable if you keep making mistakes. As a self-centered narcissist, you may believe you have dominion over the world. However, reality has a way of showing that justice prevails, and people cannot be controlled like puppets. Your involvement in politics may be your second mistake. It's unclear how someone like Trump became the president of the most powerful nation on earth, but that's a discussion for another day. The question remains, is Trump the worst president in history, yes or no? In a recent show, Stephen Colbert didn't hold back with his witty commentary on the ongoing controversies surrounding former President Donald Trump. Colbert's sharp humor landed blow after blow on Trump's post-presidential antics, making for a scathing critique. During the show on May 7th, 2024, Colbert even poked fun at how Trump managed to remain awake during his court appearance, highlighting the unusual nature of the situation. However, Colbert's jokes came in the midst of the New York hush money trial, where Trump faced allegations of paying to silence accusations of an affair during his presidential campaign. These claims have gained widespread attention, not only for their scandalous nature, but also for the important questions they raise about campaign finance laws and presidential conduct.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome one and all to The Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. Donald Trump was back in court today for his New York hush money trial, and in a twist no one saw coming, he remained conscious.
Stephen Colbert's humorous remarks about Trump's conduct in courtrooms suggest the importance of accountability. Disobeying a gag order is not a trivial matter, and it raises concerns about ethical behavior, especially for those in the public eye. This sparks debates about whether influential individuals are subject to different expectations and how this affects justice and impartiality. Colbert seized the chance to express his views on this topic.
Supposed to be of my peers, but I can tell you, from what I can tell, they all love their children, and none of them tagged a porn star at a celebrity golf event featuring Ray Romano. Ray Romano, everyone loves him, except the porn star who was busy loving me. This means Trump has violated his gag order for the 10th time, one more, and the judge says the court will have to consider a jail sanction.
During his show, Stephen Colbert mentioned Trump's criticism of the jury during his trial. Trump claimed that the jury was biased because it consisted mostly of Democrats. Colbert joked that Trump was unhappy with the selection process and that none of his true peers were present. Trump believed that none of them had the same interests and lifestyle as he did.
I've got deja woohoo. This morning, he was fined $1,000 for disparaging remarks about the jurors he made on a right-wing network, saying that they were mostly all Democrat and had been picked so fast. Very unfair, plus...
Trump's comment on the jury reflects his ongoing habit of challenging the credibility of legal proceedings and figures that don't benefit him. During his time as president and in his legal conflicts thereafter, Trump has often condemned judges and their verdicts, particularly when they don't rule in his favor. Moreover, Stephen Colbert took things a step further by discussing Trump's unprecedented place in history, Have a look at this.
Dismissed from the Trump trial because he says he's a Republican from Texas.
I try to be impartial, but at the end of the day, we got to be, genuine and candid about the fact that I did grow up in a Republican state. You can take the boy out of Texas, but you can't take Texas out of the boy.
In a comical manner, Stephen Colbert highlighted the possibility of Donald Trump being the initial ex-president to encounter legal consequences. On a related note, Colbert found it irresistible to joke about the significant amount of money Trump paid to Stormy Daniels.
Merchan recognized the historic nature of this dilemma, telling Trump he didn't want to put him in jail because, quote, "You are a former president of the United States, and possibly the next one as well." Yes, no president has ever served jail time. Although Grover Cleveland did spend some time in witness protection as Grover Cincinnati.
On his late-night talk show, Stephen Colbert delved into the recent news surrounding President Donald Trump's alleged payment to adult film actress Stormy Daniels. It was revealed that Trump had reimbursed his former attorney, Michael Cohen, for the payments made to Daniels in order to keep her quiet about an alleged affair she had with the president years prior. Colbert took the opportunity to poke fun at the situation, suggesting that Trump should have used a more modern payment method such as Zelle, a digital payment service. He joked that perhaps Trump was not familiar with the technology, given his reputation for being a bit technologically challenged. However, the situation itself is no laughing matter. The payments were made during the 2016 presidential campaign, raising questions about whether they were intended to influence the election. Additionally, the fact that they were made to silence a woman who had potentially damaging information about the president's personal life has sparked outrage and concern among many Americans. The legality of the payments is also in question. Cohen has pleaded guilty to campaign finance violations related to the payments, and Trump himself has been implicated in the scheme. Critics argue that the payments were an attempt to circumvent campaign finance laws and that Trump should be held accountable for his actions. Despite the controversy surrounding the payments, Trump has continued to deny any wrongdoing. He maintains that the payments were made to protect his family from embarrassment and that they were not related to the campaign. However, with the ongoing investigation into his conduct, it remains to be seen whether the truth will eventually come to light.
Oh, personal handwritten checks, that's an amateur move. Should have used Zelle. You know their tagline, Zelle, I think it's like Venmo with more buttons.
The recent revelations about the payment made by Donald Trump's former lawyer Michael Cohen to adult film actress Stormy Daniels brought the spotlight back on Trump's alleged extramarital affairs. The payment made to Daniels was aimed at preventing her from making public her account, which may have harmed Trump's chances of winning the election. It is worth noting that Trump has vehemently denied any wrongdoing or affair with Daniels, and has called the payment a simple private transaction. However, the recent revelations have cast a shadow over Trump's presidency and his credibility as a leader. The fact that he allegedly used his personal lawyer to pay off someone who could potentially harm his political campaign raises questions about his ethics and moral values. It also raises questions about the legality of the payment and whether it constitutes a violation of campaign finance laws. Furthermore, the revelation that Trump reimbursed Cohen for the payment and recorded it as a legal expense has only added fuel to the fire. Critics have accused Trump of trying to cover up the payment and hide it from the public. Others have suggested that this could be an impeachable offense, as it could be seen as an attempt to influence the outcome of the election. Despite this, Trump still spoke at length about Mar-a-Lago, his private club in Florida, during a recent interview with Fox News. He boasted about the club's amenities and its exclusivity, and even mentioned that he had invited Chinese President Xi Jinping there for a weekend. However, late-night talk show host Stephen Colbert was not one to let it go unnoticed. He mocked Trump's obsession with Mar-a-Lago and suggested that he was trying to distract from the Stormy Daniels scandal. In conclusion, the Stormy Daniels scandal continues to haunt Donald Trump and raise questions about his presidency. While he may try to distract from it by talking about Mar-a-Lago or other issues, the fact remains that he allegedly used hush money to silence someone who could have damaged his political campaign. Whether this will lead to his downfall or not remains to be seen, but it is clear that it has damaged his credibility and reputation as a leader.
You have the unusual situation of the president's former lawyer releasing this. and explaining its evidence that Donald Trump committed crimes in office. It's the Stormy Daniels reimbursement check, and when you have it, this is now all over the country. We saw it in the committee room. We have it here in our newsroom. This is not a jumbo check for some sort of charity auction. This is Donald Trump's personal bank account.
During a recent event at Mar-a-Lago, former President Donald Trump expressed his clear displeasure with taking photos with donors. While some might have been surprised by his comments, they actually highlight a commonly perceived transactional aspect of political fundraising. In fact, many people believe that political fundraising is all about buying access and influence. They see wealthy donors as having a direct line to politicians and assume that the more money you give, the more likely you are to get what you want. Of course, this perception is not entirely unfounded. There are certainly cases where donors have received special treatment or favorable policies as a result of their contributions, and in a system where money plays such a prominent role, it's easy to see why people might be cynical about the whole process. But it's important to remember that political fundraising is not just about money. It's also about building relationships, networking, and spreading awareness about important issues. Many donors give not because they expect something in return, but because they believe in a candidate or a cause and want to support it. So while it's true that money can buy access and influence, it's not the only factor at play in political fundraising. And as Stephen Colbert's joke suggests, sometimes even the most powerful politicians have to grin and bear it when it comes to taking photos with their donors.
Hey, donors, I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy who won't get no pic with me. Hanging by the big shrimp tray at the lunch buffet, waving $1 at me. Hey. Thank you. Thank you.
Since leaving office, former President Donald Trump has been relying heavily on his Mar-a-Lago resort as a crucial hub for his fundraising efforts. These events are more than just social gatherings. They serve as strategic opportunities for him to collect donations for his political campaigns and other related activities. Trump has been known for his ability to raise significant amounts of money from his supporters, and his post-presidency fundraising efforts have been no exception. The events at Mar-a-Lago are expensive, costing nearly $200,000 per person, with the promise of unique access to Trump, including private speeches, photo opportunities, and dinners. These events not only generate financial support, but also cultivate a sense of loyalty and privilege among attendees, strengthening their connection to Trump's political brand. Many of his supporters are eager to be associated with Trump and his message, and they view these events as a way to demonstrate their support. Trump's relationship with his supporters is distinctive, as he maintains a direct and strong bond with his base, using his charisma and communication skills to connect with them on a personal level. His supporters feel that he understands their concerns and is fighting for them, and they are willing to contribute financially to his political efforts. In addition to generating financial support, these fundraising events also contribute to Trump's legal bills. As he faces various legal challenges related to his time in office, including investigations into his business dealings and allegations of election fraud, he has been relying on his supporters to help cover his legal expenses. While it remains to be seen what will happen with Trump's post-presidency trials, his supporters appear to be standing by him, both financially and emotionally. Overall, Trump's fundraising efforts at Mar-a-Lago are a testament to his ability to connect with his supporters and generate significant amounts of money for his political causes. Whether he will continue to rely on these events in the future or pivot to other fundraising strategies remains to be seen, but one thing is clear: Trump's base remains fiercely loyal to him, and he has a significant amount of support as he navigates his post-presidency.
Trump went on to say that a nearby wedding at Mar-a-Lago was getting better treatment because the wedding was paying more per person to be there. There's a wedding that costs more than $40,000 a plate. I assume the food options are chicken, fish, or the most dangerous game.
But we will keep you informed. Be sure to tune in for our upcoming video upload. It's not to be missed.
Ted Cruz is on Fox defending Trump by saying the opposite.
There is no person on planet Earth that believes Donald Trump has been celibate all his life. That is not news.
Thanks, Ted. That's going to make Mother's Day with Melania a lot of fun this year.
The current criminal trial of Donald Trump in Manhattan has gained significant media attention, primarily due to the testimony of Stormy Daniels, a well-known stage performer. Daniels, who claims to have been a mistress of the former president, testified about her sexual encounter with Trump in 2006, which has sparked controversy and debate. Despite Republican efforts to support Trump, the media's coverage of Daniels' testimony has been problematic. Rather than focusing on the legal implications of her testimony, many news outlets have used words like salacious, lurid, and tawdry to describe it. This language wrongly implies that talking about sex is inherently shameful, which is unfair to Daniels and detracts from the larger issue at hand. The fact remains that Trump is facing a criminal trial, and the testimony of his alleged mistresses is vital to the case. Dismissing Daniels' testimony as mere gossip is not only hypocritical, but also misogynistic. When it comes to discussions of sex and sexuality, especially for women, there is cause for concern. Equally concerning is the continued support for Trump despite the overwhelming evidence against him. A recent poll found that only half of the 26 voters surveyed viewed Trump's comments on sexual assault as unacceptable behavior for a public figure, which is a dangerously low standard. It is difficult to understand why anyone would openly support a candidate who has been on trial for weeks and has a long history of corrupt and unethical behavior. Even Trump's own family seems to have distanced themselves from him in recent months. His wife, too, appears to want nothing to do with him due to his corrupt nature. Trump's actions have alienated many people, and it is time for us to hold him accountable. Only then can we move forward as a society and ensure that those in power are held to a higher standard.
Today, my friends, is an historic day because the debate over debating is finally over. Joe Biden and Donald Trump have agreed to 2 presidential debates. Yeah, my friend. Boom!
President Biden has stunned many by agreeing to engage in a debate with former President Trump. Biden took to social media to announce that he had accepted CNN's invitation to participate in the debate, which is scheduled for June 27th. Trump, who had previously declared that he was willing to debate anytime, anywhere, also accepted the invitation. Additionally, both candidates have agreed to participate in a second debate hosted by ABC on September 10th. Although Biden's campaign had initially pushed for 2 presidential debates organized by news organizations, they later informed the committee that Biden would not participate in the previously scheduled autumn debate. Trump, on the other hand, has expressed a willingness to participate in any debate, as his ratings have taken a hit and he needs to restore his image in the eyes of voters. While Biden recently indicated his willingness to debate Trump, he had avoided discussing the format of such a debate during a radio interview. A Trump advisor confirmed that the former president is eager to face off against Biden and is confident in his ability to come out on top. Biden's campaign team has proposed a debate with Trump, which will be broadcast on social media and followed by a letter to the Commission on Presidential Debate. The team has suggested June and September as possible dates for the debate. Biden has challenged Trump to a debate in a video released on Wednesday, stating that he lost 2 debates to him in 2020 and has not shown up to a debate since. Biden has even proposed Wednesdays as a potential day for the debates, offering to debate Trump twice. Biden's campaign team has acknowledged that the first debate is likely to take place after Trump's criminal trial for silencing the transfer of money to Stormy Daniels. Trump has agreed to the new schedule, and his senior advisor is confident in his ability to win the debate. Trump's team has encouraged 4 debates, twice the number that Biden initially proposed, but Biden's campaign headquarters has avoided commenting on this matter. Trump is eager to face off against his opponent on stage. As for me, I cannot wait to see how Biden will establish his dominance over Trump.
These 2 men last debated back in October, right, of 2020. We all remember gathering with our friends and families on the couch to say, oh God, I hope this doesn't happen again in 4 years.
The 2020 U.S. presidential election was an event that garnered immense global attention. The race for the White House pitted the incumbent president, Donald Trump, against former Vice President Joe Biden in a fiercely contested battle. Having won the previous election in 2016, Trump's leadership was met with disillusionment by many Americans who were eager for change. Trump's lackadaisical approach to the coronavirus pandemic was a key factor in his defeat. From the outset, he downplayed the severity of the virus and refused to take it seriously. His suggestion that disinfectant could be used as a potential cure was widely ridiculed and disbelieved. Trump's refusal to implement strict measures to curb the pandemic further eroded his credibility as the virus continued to spread across the country. Additionally, his unpopular policies, including divisive rhetoric and controversial immigration immigration policies led many Americans to feel that he prioritized his own interests over the needs of the people. Joe Biden proved to be a formidable candidate capable of instilling trust and confidence in the American people. His message of unity and inclusivity resonated with voters, who were eager for a leader committed to tackling the country's most pressing issues. Biden's stance on healthcare, climate change, and social justice captured the attention of many who saw him as a beacon of hope for a brighter future. Ultimately, the 2020 U.S. presidential election marked a pivotal moment in American history, showcasing the power of democracy and the importance of holding leaders accountable. Although Trump's defeat was difficult for his supporters, it was a clear indication that the majority of Americans were ready for change. After a tumultuous period of political upheaval and division, there is a sense of hope and optimism in the air now that Joe Biden has taken the reins of power in the United States. With his decades of experience in public service and his reputation for being a unifier, many are looking to him to lead the country towards a brighter future. There are certainly challenges ahead, from the ongoing pandemic and economic struggles to the urgent need to address systemic racism and climate change. But the new administration seems determined to face these challenges head-on. Biden has already taken steps to address some of these issues, from rejoining the Paris Climate Agreement to launching a comprehensive national strategy to tackle COVID-19. One of the things that has been most heartening about the start of the Biden presidency is the sense of decency and empathy that he brings to the role. Whether he is comforting families who have lost loved ones to the pandemic or reaching out to those who have been marginalized or discriminated against, his message of unity and compassion is resonating with people across the country. Of course, not everyone is on board with the new administration's agenda. There are still deep divisions in American society, and many are skeptical about whether Biden can really deliver on his promises. But for now, at least, there is a sense that the country is moving in the right direction, towards a future that is more inclusive, more just, and more hopeful.
Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. Since then, he hadn't shown up for debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. So let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays.
President Biden has thrown down the gauntlet and challenged his predecessor, Donald Trump, to a face-to-face meeting. Even though Trump has agreed to the challenge, he remains unyielding in the face of legal challenges that have emerged since he left office. Despite ongoing investigations into possible tax fraud and illegal use of campaign finance by Trump and his company, he refutes any wrongdoing. The investigations led by prosecutors in New York and Georgia have brought to light potential wrongdoing by the former president and his associates. Civil and criminal lawsuits concerning Trump's business dealings and actions while in office have also sparked significant public interest and debate. Nevertheless, many believe that President Biden will triumph and demonstrate his ability to lead. Biden has already made significant strides in his first few months in office, with his focus on addressing the COVID-19 pandemic, rebuilding the economy, and tackling climate change. His efforts to promote social justice and equity have also garnered widespread support. As the country moves forward, the question of whether our nation could benefit from a second term for President Biden is a multifaceted one. While some argue that our country is facing numerous obstacles, others contend that a different outlook and innovative leadership could yield even more improvements. Nevertheless, everyone can agree that the current legal battles involving Donald Trump and his organization highlight the significance of holding our officials responsible for their behavior. With the Biden administration striving to progress forward with its plans, we aspire that the knowledge acquired from previous experiences will shape a more optimistic future for all citizens. Leave your feedback in the comments section and make sure to stay tuned to our channel for additional unexpected updates.